Right, we're going to look at question 5 now. So question 5 is this question. In 2008, Nita bought a car. In 2009, the car went down in value by 15% to the nearest 1%. In 2010, the car went down in value by a further 13% to the nearest 1%. By the end of 2010, the car was worth £10,000 to the nearest £100. What was the highest possible initial value of the car? So, I might model this situation. I've got an original value, and the first thing that happens is it goes down by 15% to the nearest 1%. Right. If at the end of this I'm trying to work out the highest possible initial value, then in order for it to be the most value, to have been the most value to begin with, I must have reduced it by a lot, right? If I reduce something by a lot, compared with if I reduce something by a little bit, when I reduce it by a lot, I must have had a higher starting point if it's the same price in the in the end. So I'm going to use 15%, but to the nearest 1%, that'll be 15.5%. So if it's a reduction of 15.5% initially, then that gives me a multiplier of 0.845. So that's the reduction of 15.5%. Okay. Then it goes down by 13% to the nearest 0.5%, but again we want it to be reduced by as much as possible, so we're going to be reduced by 13.5%, and that's a multiplier of 0.865, right? So 13.5% less than 1 would be 0.865. Just be careful with that. So times by 0.865. And then my end result, at the end of the day, the car is worth £10,000 to the nearest £1,000. So I want my highest possible end value to get my highest, so because it would have generated my highest possible original value. So to the nearest 100, that will be 10,050. So I'm going to reverse this process to find out what my original value must be. So take my end value, divide by 0.865, divide by 0.845, and I get my original value. So here we go. £13,749.70 to the nearest pence.